So before people start cheering on Danielle Smith's latest little separation announcement, you should probably hear the things that she's conveniently left out. Because this entire announcement falls apart the second that you compare it to what the court actually already ruled on. See, Danielle Smith says that this proposed referendum question does not directly trigger separation.
The additional question will be,
This is Mr. Bond, and if you're not following him already, you should be. He's usually pretty bang on with his takes. He's credible and he knows his stuff. In this video, he talks about Danielle Smith moving ahead with a form of separation referendum in Alberta while trying to bypass the court rulings that came after First Nations won their case. And Mr. Bond is right. No matter how they try to reword the question on referendum, it still impacts treaty territories, treaty rights, and Indigenous people. You can't just sidestep that reality by changing the wording. Will that make a difference or stop Smith? Sadly, no. Now let me give you my own take on this as a First Nation person that's living in Canada. Danielle Smith is going to push with this process regardless of what the courts say or whether it violates Section 35, treaty rights or Indigenous rights. And here's why. First, Canada, both federally and provincially, has a long history of ignoring First Nation rights, whether it becomes political or economically convenient. We see it constantly. First Nation people exercising their rights, hunting rights, trading rights, under the treaty are still getting arrested, harassed, and blocked from exercising those rights. Most people that are not First Nation even support this in the general public. Second, Alberta's government already has precedents from the federal government themselves. Look at Bill C-5, the nation-building legislation pushed by Mark Carney. The language around free, prior, and informed consent was deliberately left out. That gives the governments a bypass to treaty concerns and UNDRIP when it suits them. So, Alberta is looking at Ottawa and saying, if the federal government can do it, why can't we? And third, yes, UNDRIP was adopted in Canada, but people need to understand something very important. UNDRIP was adopted in principle over time. The legislation basically says Canada will work towards aligning all its laws under UNDRIP gradually. It does not create like an immediate environment, concrete timelines, or automatic legal consequences every time a government ignores Indigenous rights. And Smith knows that. She knows there are very few to no real consequences in Canada for violating treaty rights because governments have been doing it for generations. Who would have thought that violating First Nation treaty rights would eventually bite us in the ass in Canada? Now here's the part people don't want to talk about. The Alberta separation movement isn't just about economic freedom or Alberta sovereignty. Foreign actors benefit when countries become divided and unstable. Former MP Charlie Angus warned about this week. And I've been saying this for about 2 years when I first started seeing the Alberta separation movement grow. When you normalize division, distrust in institutions, separation rhetoric, and regional anger, you create the exact instability that outside powers exploit, namely Russia and the United States. That's how countries break apart from within with the help of foreign countries. Why do you think Canada is trying to secure drones from Turkey and develop its drone defense industry? And if the federal government refuses to seriously confront what's happening in Alberta with the separation movement, Canada risks walking down a very dangerous road, the same road Ukraine has walked. History has always shown us where unchecked division can lead. And when you violate the rights of one small group, then the rights of the many will be next. Anyways, that's my take. It's still going to happen. And unfortunately, us ignoring and not defending First Nation treaty rights will probably lead to the end of Canada or the annexation of a portion of Canada. And I sincerely wish and hope that Ottawa does something about it. Anyways, you stay deadly.